Did something big happen last night on AEW? Welcome, hello everyone. Welcome to the Raw Take. I'm your host Rob Reed. This is your review for the August 20th, 2021 First Dance edition of AEW Rampage. Uh, the rumors are true. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. This was absolutely fantastic. Uh, this return was just as just as big as hyped. Um, the reaction from the crowd, I get it. It's in Chicago, but this was probably the biggest pop I've ever heard uh, from a crowd. Uh, at least in at least in 10 years. In at least 10 years. Uh, like this reminded me of more in after WrestleMania 18, after the Hogan Rock match, the night after, and Hogan's big return, and his, when the crowd was so loud that he had to wait for like 6 minutes before he. That's what this felt like. It was that kind of just crowd reaction that was such a big moment. I've mentioned in the past AEW has a habit of not letting things breathe. They gave this time. They let this breathe. They let everybody, so specifically CM Punk. He soaked in that crowd reaction. Uh, like it was such an emotional moment. You could see fans crying in the crowd, and fuck the people that were making fun of people of the dude crying in the crowd last night. That's an asshole move. Professional wrestling doesn't need fans like you. Get the fuck out. Professional wrestling does not need that kind of wrestling fan. You're not a fucking fan, you're a dick. Get out. There are very few times because WWE stamps out the passion of wrestling fans for so long that when you see a genuine, passionate, emotional moment, that's the moments that make professional wrestling. The last night on Rampage, that was what makes professional wrestling. That is every bit of why people are fans of professional wrestling. Uh, so Punk comes out. He the first thing he does, first words out of his mouth, is to put over Britt Baker. Like he went out of his way to put over other people. The first thing he says is, "You guys sure know how to make a kid feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh." Uh, he, the fans chant, and he says, "I heard that. I've heard that for 7 years. I've heard you the whole time. I have heard you." And he does. He basically apologizes for being gone for the last 7 years. He apologizes for it. He says he does, but he said, you have to understand that I was never going to get healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, staying in the same place that got me sick in the first time. I saw people going, ooh, shots. No, he has every right to take that shot specifically at WWE. He's allowed to take that. That isn't AEW taking shots at WWE. That is a guy who went through it personally. Uh, he asked if he can tell a story. He's like, it's hot in here. I need to take this hoodie off. He takes off the hoodie and he's got a new CM Punk shirt that was only available in the crowd at the show. He sits down, cross-legged, pipe bomb style, and he tells a story. He said he was forced to leave professional wrestling. He didn't want to, but he had to. He said, that was the day. He said there was a time where he felt he had done everything, and he had to get out. He had to leave, and that was when he left Ring of Honor. And he said that last night in Ring of Honor, he famously came out with tears in his eyes. He said, and he now realizes why he was crying. He said there was a lot of reasons. He said, but mainly it was because he was leaving a place that he had helped cultivate a culture where guys could come in, work, get paid, and learn their craft and love professional wrestling. He said he knew he was leaving that place, and where he was going was going to be really hard for guys like him. He said he feels like that was the day he actually left professional. He said August 13th, 2020, or 2005, I left professional wrestling. He said August 20th, 2021, I'm back. Then he calls out Darby Allin. Darby Allin's up in the rafters, and he says, I've seen you. You're good. He said, I've seen you jump out of airplanes. He said, I've seen you get zipped up in body bags and thrown over the top rope. He said, I've seen you get kicked down a flight of stairs. You always come back. He said, but I have to ask you, what's tougher than... There's not much things that are tougher than than a wrestling match against CM Punk, except wrestling CM Punk in Chicago. And he finally lays down the challenge for All Out. I have to imagine that's going to be the main event. I know there's a title match. I know Kenny Omega and Christian are having a title match. I don't see any match main eventing outside of Darby Allin versus CM Punk. Not in Chicago. Yeah, this was fantastic. Right after this, we cut to a quick promo from Christian. Christian's back in the back with Jurassic Express. Got Kenny's number, and I'll take I already took one title from you, and I'll take the other one at All Out. And that they're setting up the tag tournament match between Jurassic Express and Private Party. A really fun match. Jurassic Express picks up the win. Not really surprised. I think that it's either going to be Jurassic Express or the Lucha Bros. Uh, but I feel like the Lucha Bros aren't going to win the titles until after they do the whole thing with Andrade. I feel like they might be splitting up Death Triangle. But yeah, this was a fun match. Jurassic Express win. Uh, they had a really cool reversal out of Gin and Juice. Um, and then they hit the Jurassic Express for the win. Uh,
Welcome to Jason Powell's
what?
Pro
Sorry.
Wrestling Boom Podcast.
I hit something that I didn't mean to hit. So, okay, trying to get through everything. Next, we have a very quick squash between with Jade Cargill over Kira Hogan. I was hoping to see a lot more. I really was. I think Kira Hogan is a really good wrestler. I was hoping to see her get it, but I think because of the very long CM Punk promo, they didn't really have time to have they didn't have time to have long matches. It's an hour show. So I think a lot of those matches had to be truncated. And it ended up just being a very fast squash match. And you knew that Jade Cargill was getting the win. That wasn't a surprise. But I was just hoping to see Kira Hogan get a little bit of offense in. And we get a backstage promo with Jon Moxley. It's another one of those split screen. And Moxley says that Daniel Garcia has a better chance of getting him pregnant than he does of making him submit. But this match was actually really fun. This main event match, Daniel Garcia takes on Jon Moxley. This is a really fun match. Really good showing for Daniel Garcia. He got in a lot of cool submission offense in. And, I mean, unsurprisingly, eventually Moxley was able to counter a move into a bulldog choke and got the win. Right after the match, a 2.0 and Daniel Garcia attack Moxley. This brings out Sting and Darby. They all come out. They hit their big moves. Everybody gets their big moves in. They throw both a 2.0 in the crowd, or in both 2.0 into the corner. Sting hits a Stinger Splash. Hits one of them with the Scorpion Death Drop. Moxley hits Daniel Garcia with the Paradigm Shift, and they send the whole crowd home happy. This is again, super fun show of Rampage. Obviously, the main point was CM Punk's return. But it was the rest of the show was really just have a fun wrestling show, quick, fun, hour-long wrestling show. Send the crowd home happy. This was good. You cannot give this show a bad review. I dare anyone. This made tonight reminded people why it's fun to be a wrestling fan. If you like this review, drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. Comment down below. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Rob Reed. and I will see you in the next video.